So here we have a 2024 KTM 890 Adventure R, and we're looking at 530 miles on it. And what I want to do, I want to get rid of the cat, but we got the O2 sensor on here. So how do we get rid of that? I got a mid pipe. I have the bung that I'm going to weld in for the O2 sensor. And after that it gets a little more complicated. We need to do a little bit of wiring with a couple resistors. Well, actually just one. And then one capacitor. And we need to figure out where on this chart we want our O2 sensor to perform. So, first thing I'm going to do is start the bike, and then I'm going to watch and see what does my O2 sensor do. And after we know that, then rather than using a resistor to start out, I'm going to be using a 1 meg potentiometer. And with this guy I can go all the way down to about 4 ohms and all the way up to just over 1 meg. So I should be able to dial in a low pass frequency filter that aligns somewhere on that chart. And my baseline numbers came from the automotive industry. I'm not sure where KTM is going to fall on this chart and be happy. That's why rather than buying 100 different resistors, we're going to dial it in with the potentiometer, then measure the potentiometer and purchase the correct resistor. It is possible that the resistor that I bought will work, but we'll find out. So I'm going to start by collecting some data. There's my O2 sensor hanging, and I just have the pipe hanging in here right now. So I'm gonna mark out where I want to drill and weld the O2 sensor bung in. But this is a 2023 pipe, the mid pipe there, and I set the muffler on and everything seems to line up really nice. So no changes to the pipe for a 24 model. Everything's lining up. So I'm going to get the pipe drilled and welded, and then I'll get back to you. So now we know that with the cat out, the downstream O2 sensor is acting exactly like the front O2 sensor. So we need to try to get the rear sensor to not be raising and lowering above, I think it's 0.45 volts as frequently as what it is doing. That is most likely what the ECU is looking for, is how frequently is that voltage crossing 0.45 volts. So we will get on this guy here, and inside of here we got 4 wires. We got 2 whites, a black, and a gray. And we'll get this cover off, and then we'll splice in our other components. I tried a lot of different combinations with the capacitor and the resistor, and I finally settled on my original 4.7 microfarad capacitor and my 1 megohm resistor. That was my original plan, and here is how that's wired in on that O2 sensor. So it's showing the potentiometer on the picture, but the resistor goes in line on the black, and the capacitor goes across from the black to the gray wire. That had the best results on the graph. It was very infrequent that I was crossing the 0.45 line on the graph. So that should keep my check engine light off and should run smooth. So I gotta put this back together and put about 200 miles on it and see what happens. Before I cover this all up, I thought I'd take a little picture of what that looks like. Black wire, gray wire, resistor, capacitor. That's it. Thanks for watching.